welcome or welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the eye because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hope y'all are doing lovely on this wonderful Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, sorry. Hope y'all are doing lovely whenever you're listening to this. So this week, y'all, to stay within the realm of personal development and self growth, because that's the season. And honestly, have been loving talking about the different topics that I've been talking about. But I gotta I gotta talk about my love life because I think that has been the most essential part of my growth journey is navigating that. And I honestly think like in today's time, people's love lives is probably helping them to figure out so much stuff about themselves that I want to talk about how mine has played a part into my personal development and my self-growth, like how my relationships have shaped me learning about myself and everything, because the opposite sex is so ghetto. Like, it's crazy because I personally don't think we're all so different. I think that the reason why we end up being so different is because of, how boys are raised versus how girls are raised. But I genuinely think if we were all put on the same playground, like not playground like literally, but like figuratively, if we were all put on the same playground learning the same stuff, we would so be the same. And then there would just be like little things here and there that would be different just off of biological things. But like legit, I think that because like boys are seen as supposed to be doing one thing, women are seen, or girls are supposed to be seen as doing one thing, like we end up like seeming so different. Like it literally be feeling like sometimes like boys are from Mars and women are from Venus because like yeah, but like needless to say, I just want to be able to talk about how me dealing with guys has shaped my personal growth and everything, because it has played a major part. I genuinely, and I probably mentioned this before, so go start back at episode number 1 and listen through, and then you'll hear what I'm about to say. But like, I have known that I liked it guys since preschool, which is crazy because you're like, why would a preschooler know that she likes boys? Like, what is going on there? Like, but as a preschooler, I knew like there was this little boy that was, and then I always knew I liked older guys, and I'm sure I've told this story too, but I always knew I liked older guys, and I always knew I liked guys because like when I was in preschool, our preschool used to have like a program where the kids from elementary school would come there for aftercare or whatever. And there was this one boy, Dominic, I'll never forget his name. I don't know the last name though. But yes, his name was Dominic, and I just had the biggest crush on him. Don't know why or what, like what a crush really even meant, for real, for real. I just knew like, oh my god, he was so cute, and I like would have loved to just get a hug or something. I don't know. Like I can't even think of what like my brain was thinking in at that age, but like I knew that he was cute and I wanted him. Like, so it's like crazy to think that from very a young age that I knew that I liked what I liked. That's why caveat already at the beginning before we even get into it. Like when the LGBTQ people say that they know from a very young age that they're different, like real shit. Because if I knew that I like boys at the age of 5, because I would have been 6 going into elementary school, but like at the age of 5, if I knew I like boys, then they know if they like the same sex or the opposite sex or stuff like that. Like, because now, if I knew, they know too. Now, whether they get to say that, share that, express that, or, what is it, experience it, or what is it, like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but like, investigate it. Like, they don't really get that space until maybe they get older, or especially in our generation now, I guess maybe you get to, well, nah, because it's probably till you get older. But like, I knew I like boys, so like from a very young age, so it's just like I've been wanting to be interactive with guys for the longest. Don't know what it is about boys, guys, men, but I've always just wanted them in my space. Now, what's crazy is when I was younger, I was the girl that could, and I'm probably still that girl now, or still that lady, woman. I'm that girl. I'm still that person that can, hang out with both. Like, I definitely love being around women, but I love being around men too. And I was that way as a little kid, where I could play with my friends and everything, but I also like to hang out with the boys. Like, that was just fun to me. It was something about the duality of both sides that I could play in that just was like so fun. And so, like, you know, I've like always wanted to be around boys and not just girls. And then, like, I think for me, where shit started getting crazy is that, being around the boys, of course there's going to be a boy that you like, but there were so many different factors that went into whether they were going to like me back or not and stuff like that. So that started my journey with like rejection from guys, and that has dictated a lot a lot of how I move these days. Like, my first, if I'm not mistaken, my first rejection with a boy probably would have came like fourth grade. Fourth grade. Mind you, I went to school in the predominantly white area for elementary school, middle school. And I say that because although like black men are like good with, white women, black women, at least for me, now I can't speak for other people, but for me, I was not able to get the white boys in my school. And I don't know if it was because they weren't used to the girls being able to do both, so they see me as just like another guy, so to speak. Like, I don't even know how to express it. Like, because I was hanging out with them, they might have seen that or seen me as like too much to handle, or, because I'm like dark skinned. It ain't like I'm like a light skinned black girl. I'm a dark skinned black girl. That probably played into that too. So like, that was like, there were so many different factors that played into like the rejection. As well as like, I've always been corny. Like, I'm not even just gonna put it on like my, race and stuff like that, but like, I've always been corny too. I very rarely am like direct when it comes to me liking somebody. I've always been like very scared to let somebody know that I like them, or like very nervous to let them know because of, that possible fear of hearing no. And then it's just like, okay, if you don't like me back, then what do we do now? So like, fourth grade, there's a guy that I liked, and he was like new to the school. And what's crazy is, when he first got to the school, I was like more than welcome to like hang out with him and everything like that. Like, of course he would hang out with other people, but I definitely noticed, like, because he was new, he would kind of be to himself or whatever, and I would put myself out there to hang out with him and things like that. But, of course, doing that, then you're just like, oh, I kind of like him. Like, he's cute, he's fun to be with, I guess, for what would be fourth grade for a 10-year-old. Like, to me, that he was the bee's knees. The bee's knees. But he was also like white too, so like, it's so many different factors. But as a kid, you're not thinking about all these factors, but hindsight, you're just like, okay, there's so many different factors that played into possibly why I got told no. But it's crazy because he rejected me, but then dated my friend. And that's another thing that I have noticed throughout my my whole life in general. Not necessarily that, the people would date like my friend that I like, but I find that like the people I be attracted to, they always be interested in the people I hang out with. And like I don't that is like a big, what is it, a big pill to swallow. Like I've been dealing with that for so long, and I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if there's something that I don't even know. I ain't even finna go down the rabbit hole because that one I can't. I would never be able to figure out. But he ended up liking, and I'm not even gonna say she was really my friend. She was somebody that I was like in Girl Scouts with. That I was in Girl Scouts with. So I don't know if I would qualify her as like a friend because I didn't really hang out with her. If anything, before we probably like talked for real for real. I probably thought she was weird or something. I don't know. But he ended up like dating her, and like, and then what I don't like too is like people will, reject me, and then motherfuckers will diss you like, well, hold up, wait a minute. It's enough to say no, but don't be saying no and then get crazy with it. Like, I just find that, like, that's been my reality too, is like with him, with the next guy that I liked, with the guy from cheerleading, like, people will be on some, instead of just leaving it at a no type shit, like, they get real disrespectful. And it's just like, okay, maybe I didn't need to deal with them in the first place, because why are you disrespectful as a young kid? Especially because me, I wasn't disrespectful. Now, what I will say was I maybe, overzealous or whatever? Maybe. Because, you're a kid, impulses, you're just trying to go after what you want. So I'm just, presenting myself maybe in the worst way. Like, I know for the guy from fourth grade, when my cousin, because my younger cousin was at the same elementary school as me, when she was there, I low key think I asked her to like tell, because we had like this thing where like the older kids of the elementary school would partner with the younger kids and would be like their, what is it, like their mentors, so to speak. So like fourth, fifth, third, fourth, and fifth would partner with the kindergarten first and second. And so my grade happened to have partnered with my cousin's grade. And so was he my cousin's thing? I don't even know if he was my cousin's thing or what had happened. But I know I had asked my cousin to be on some corny shit, like, can you ask him if he likes me, yes or no? Like, it was really weird. Like, I just have never known how to navigate guys, like, in the slightest. I've never, it's crazy because now I can flirt here and there, but like, if I had to really be direct with people, it I don't know if I could do it. Like, it's so weird because like I had did that. Now then there was a guy in fifth grade that I liked, and he ended up telling me no, that we are better as friends and all this other stuff. Then he ends up actually dating my friend. Now he dates my friend, and my friend was actually a friend. Like, and I remember her asking me, like, is it okay that I do? And I'm like, girl, like, and I've never been that person. I would never be that person where if I find somebody interesting and they like you, I'm not no hater. I'm not no cop blocker. Like, I'm gonna be sad, yes, because it's just like, okay, why you don't want me? But I would never block nobody's blessings. Like, if you're not meant for me, but you like the next person, why would I stop that? I've never been that type of person to be like, oh no, you can't do that because of girl code and all this other stuff. Like, no, go live your best life. Like, I want to say they dated from the end of fifth grade into sixth grade. This sounds so crazy to just say, because we were so young. So like, why were we even thinking about all this shit? But like, It's just like they dated from the end of 5th grade till 6th grade. They might have broke up sometime in 6th grade or so. I don't know, but that was another situation where, you know, the person rejected me, said no, we're better off as friends. Like, and that was really all that I heard. Like, I really have been the Queen Latifah and Dress Right like my whole entire life. Like, I'm the person that always gets told that I'm like the friend that you hang out with. Like, I'm the best, like just one of the dudes, so to speak. And it's insane because, like, why is that person not the person that gets chosen? Like, why is that the person that doesn't get the opportunity? Because you already like me. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, you already like me as somebody to hang out with. Do you not think that I could turn on the girl? Like, just because I know how to, hang out with the dudes don't mean that I don't know how to turn on the girl. Like, the girl turns on. Now, how often is she there? Who knows? But she definitely knows how to turn on. Like, I'm very nurturing and caring and loving and all of those soft traits that, are aligned with the feminine. But I'm also still very much, I can hang out. I can hang. Like, and I've always been that way. Since I was younger, I've been literally the Queen Latifah. And it's crazy because it's always what's the lady's name? Robin Thicke's ex-wife. I can't think of her name, but I always was friends with those ladies, and they would always get the man. But the thing is like, I didn't get a man or anything until like high school, so I guess that's the end of the movie. That's the end of the movie in school years, but like, for the most part, I've always been the one that can hang out with both. I can do the girl stuff. Like, she was able to put the dress on and look all nice and everything. Even by the end of the movie, she had them titties up and everything like that. Like, I can definitely do both, but I'm going to be very competitive. I love to play. I love to be competitive. I'm on that. Like, I love both sides of me. And my whole entire life, or at least my whole entire school life, that loving the more masculine side of me just always X'd me out of being with guys. And it sucks. Now, granted, did I need to be dating in high school, elementary school, middle school? Maybe not. Maybe I didn't need to be dating, but when that was like things that the kids would do in school, like, of course you want to do what the kids are doing. And so it made you feel like an outcast that you didn't get to have a boyfriend, that you didn't get to have a first kiss. My first kiss wasn't until high school, which is insane to say. But like, you didn't get to do the things because of whatever the reason. And so like, that definitely shaped so much of like who I am now when it comes to the opposite sex. Like, I mentioned before, I don't put myself out there. Now I let you come to me. Like, like I do and what's crazy is like, if I see somebody I'm attracted to, I avert all my attention. Like, I don't even try to make eye contact because like the fear of the no is just so prevalent in my mind, because it's like, every person I've been interested in, I always get told no. And so, you let them come to you, and then it's just like, ill. Not ill. I'm not going to say ill. I'm not going to say ill because, not everybody has been ill, but it just hasn't been fruitful, to say the least. It definitely has been learning. I've learned a lot from the situations I've dealt with, but it hasn't been fruitful. It hasn't really gotten me anywhere. Like, there hasn't really been commitment, consistency, longevity, or anything like that. And so, like, that was, like, the starting point of my love life, is just developing that fear of rejection. Because when I was putting myself out there to the people that I was interested in anyways, like, it never worked out. Like, it never worked out. Or let's even take it a little bit further. The one person that it kind of worked out with told me that I had to be a secret. Like, I have always been loud in people's face. Like, it has never been any environment that I've been in that you didn't know who I was unless I intentionally hid myself. So you mean to tell me that as big of an energy and as loud as I am and as extra as I am, you mean to tell me I gotta be a secret in order for you to deal with me? Now, granted, when I was younger, did I think about it? I might have thought about it. But I think I still stood 10 toes down, like, no, like, that's not okay. And the fact that you even think that's okay is, like, insane. Like, if you can't have me in front of people loud and proud, then you damn sure shouldn't get me behind the scenes. But, it's just crazy because, like, that'd be a thing, too. Like, I'd be attracting people that want to keep me a secret. Like, what? Like, I'll attract people that's in relationships, so you gotta stay a secret. I'll attract people that just want it to be low key, or they don't want to take you around people. Like, that's just, like, what? And it's crazy because it does reflect, parts of me that just wants to stay hidden. Like, I don't put myself on the front street all the time. Like I said, unless I'm intentionally hiding myself, then you notice me. Like, there is no not noticing me because I'm just that type of person. I gotta force myself to hide if I want to be hidden because you're gonna see me. Like, so the fact that I tend to attract people that want to hide me, it just lets me know, like, yo, there's still parts of you that you're still hiding because these people are hiding you. So what, like, how do you, cater to that side of yourself that you're hiding and put it on Front Street so that these people can stop coming your way? Because what? So, like, yeah, but that's just like the first part of my journey, so to speak. That's the introduction into my love life and how we got to where we are now. But let's talk about my first love, which I don't even, of course, how do I want to say it? He definitely was my first love. He was the first everything, damn near. So he definitely was my first love. He was the first person I was able to bring home. First person that committed to me. First person that, I had sexual relations with. He was the first everything. Like, that situation definitely. And what's crazy is I almost didn't even go into it because it was right around the time, like, I want to say not social media, but like the dating apps started getting popular, or at least they were starting to make a lot of them. At the age of 17, I probably shouldn't have been on nobody's dating apps. That probably wasn't the smartest. But needless to say, I was on one. And when we first matched, and he liked me first on the app, I almost didn't match because when I looked at the pictures, I don't know what it is about men and pictures, but like, they don't, I ain't gonna say all of them. Some of them just don't take the most flattering pictures. Like, you look at their pictures and you just be like, oh, I just want to see you in person. Like, I want to see you in person because this camera can't be doing you justice. Like, it really can't. So I almost didn't match with him, but I did match with him. But I don't think, like, we talked, like, immediately. When I matched with him, I want to say he might have asked for my phone number, but when he got the phone number, he really didn't use it. Or when he did use it, like, it was very short, sweet, to the point. So, like, some time had passed, and then, like, he randomly called me one day, and I got to hear his voice. And I'm a sucker for a deep voice. I am a sucker for a deep voice. It's something about a nice... Now, and what's crazy is his voice, depending on the day, is not that deep. But when he called that morning, it was like, oh my God. And I was 17, so of course it sounded like heaven. But that kind of had me smitten. And so I, you know, continued to talk with him. Then, by the grace of God, he was caught by a train over by my grandma's house, which is where I was staying at the time. And so he was like, okay, I'll come over there. And I literally think he stayed over there, and we were just talking because we were outside, because of course you can't come in grandma's house, but we're outside talking, and we talked all the way to maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, which is crazy again because we're 17. Like, what are we doing? But and the rest was history. Like, that relationship was actually really good. Of course it had its really bad moments. We were kids. I've learned a lot about myself in that situation. A lot of stuff I'm still learning to this day. I think my mind has been so wrapped up in guy number two that I really don't even really take in all that I went through with my first real relationship. And I've been like slowly thinking about it and everything. And like, I've learned that I was way immature. But you know what's crazy is like the same stuff that he would bring up and would be upset about and stuff like that is still the same stuff that I'm still dealing with to this day. And I think the reason why it hasn't been, worked on and worked through is because I deal with dudes so far and few in between that I really don't get a chance to really regulate myself in the heat of the moment. So like, the same stuff that he went through is the same stuff that, depending on the person, they go through too. Because of course I think different people pull different things out of you. But like, and from my relationships in general, and I don't know if other people get to see this, but to me, I think that our relationships reflect our parenting situation. Because I find that he was like my mom in a lot of ways. And that was a good thing and it was a bad thing. And I found that like sometimes I would be like overdoing it. Like, the way in which I treat my mom is probably the way in which I treated him. And so that possibly could have led into, how the situation ended up fizzling out of stuff. Like, I learned in that relationship, like, I am hella spoiled. And like, the moment you don't give me my way, like, I am losing it. Now, I don't know if I'm like exactly the same way, and not probably. But like, okay, I do my best to communicate a little better now, but I'm like really spoiled. But my mom spoiled me, and so, when you when you're raised one way, it's very hard to change that, But like, I learned in that relationship I'm super spoiled. Like, honestly, the reason that we broke up, so to speak, because we didn't stop talking after we broke up, and we didn't stop doing the things, but we just I never gave the title back, or he never asked for it back. So like, we were still together but broken up. So you get it. But like, I broke up with him because he had told me that we were supposed to be going to Disney or something like that to celebrate graduation, or I don't even remember. But then he like took it away because he said my attitude was bad. Like, I think it was off of my attitude. I don't even remember, but he had took it away, and I was like, okay, well, that's not gonna work. Like, you told me that we were gonna do this, and then you mean to tell me you about to take it away because of, like, whatever the case. And so like, I legit was like, yeah, if that's how you moving, then I don't want to be with you. And like, literally that ended the day. And then that's what kind of started us on like a really terrible roller coaster of like ups and downs, which is crazy. Because who would know? Not who would know. Who would think that the ending of a relationship would start the roller coaster ride? Like, there were so many ups and downs following the breakup that is just like crazy. But like, that was something I learned. I learned that it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But I genuinely think it's both. It's what you say and how you say it. I learned that, I talk to people probably like how their mamas talk to them, because I'm a woman and I talk to you how my mama talked to me. And so, not that I be trying to, but depending on the moment, that comes out. That side comes out. I learned in that relationship that did I show appreciation? I know that I'm not a words of affirmation girl. I learned that in that relationship, the next situationship. Like, I'm really not a words of affirmation person, which is crazy because I hear words of affirmation all the time. But to give it out, which I've mentioned in my love language episodes, so go watch, plug. But to give out words of affirmation just feels so cringe, to be so sweet and nice to people. Now, granted, would I do that, like put forth effort with my like man and my husband? Yes, I would put forth effort to, show up with the words of affirmation, to uplift and to pour verbally into my person. But like right now, like just to be on some, now what's crazy is I can do it easily through text message. But if I have to use my words to be that nice and sweet and everything to somebody, like, it's so cringe to me. And so, yeah, he let me know, like, he would give me compliments and would very rarely hear it back and stuff like that and everything. But, yeah, learn that. I also learned in that relationship, and what has probably been coming to my mind way more now, which is like having somebody who treated me like a kid, like not a kid but a baby when I didn't feel well. Because like I go look at my other videos, more recent videos, you will see that I have been eating until my stomach hurts some days because I'm like going through whatever emotional thing I'm going through. But like, I remember when I would like be with him and I would get sick, because my stomach has always been very sensitive, which I think everybody's stomach is sensitive, but mine has always been very sensitive. And I remember like when I would be sick with him, and the fact that he would turn on that nurturing, loving side of him where he would take care of me, and if I needed my stomach rubbed, I could get my stomach rubbed. Like, I remember I had to go to the hospital one time because of the stomach virus thing or whatever. And he came there, and I'm like, I can't kiss you because you're going to get sick. He kissed me, and then like end up getting sick. But it's just like that shit, like right there. Like, that was the stuff that I genuinely miss about being in a relationship with somebody who has the nurturing side that most women tend to possess. Like, a guy that's nurturing is just so amazing, because everybody talks about how dudes become big babies when they're sick, but never talk about how women probably want to be big babies too. But because we don't really get that space or opportunity, we don't get to really be that. And I was actually that in that situation. So like, I remember dealing with the second to last dude that I came across, and I was sick, but he needed to be picked up for whatever reason. So I went to go pick him up. And when we went to a hotel or whatever, the man didn't even think to like, he didn't think to, the most he was like, oh, go in the bathroom, turn on the shower so you could breathe the hot air or whatever. But he didn't like, hold me, none of that. Like, in that moment, the fact that I got out of my bed sick to come and pick you up, like, to have somebody that's nurturing in that moment, to like hold me and care for me because I just care for them, like, that's what I would love moving forward. Like, it's just those things in that first relationship with him, like, that I learned. Like, of course I learned my flaws, but I learned what I want to receive from men. Now, is it likely that I'm going to come across that? I don't know, because men, I don't know. It's crazy because you know they're out there because you go online and you see that they're out there, but the likelihood of us bumping into each other should be, higher because of social media, but still seems like some of us are so far away. But like to bump into somebody that will baby me like I will baby them, like I will legit baby you if you're sick because that's the nurturing side of me. Like, I love taking care of people. Like, that's cool to me. But I need somebody that does that too because I've had a taste of it and that shit felt amazing. Like, I would literally be on the toilet, stomach, like, hunched over, stomach tight, my back hurt and everything. And he would come in there and he would rub on my back and everything. Like, that shit fire. Like that's the stuff that you would hope comes in a partner in general, like that they tend for you in those moments of weakness because that's what it's supposed to be about. And so I learned a lot about myself in that relationship. But like, of course, because I was so young and I wasn't ready to necessarily be with somebody for the rest of my life. That person could have very much so been my husband. Had I, not been scared shitless to be like, oh my God, my first and my only. Like that. What's crazy is you'll tell God what you want. And he'll give it to you. And then you'll be like, fuck. I don't know if I can do it. Because I would always say, like, God, please send me somebody where I could just be like one and done. Send me somebody I can be one and done. He did that and I was like, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't want to be in this for the rest of my life. Like, I don't. Like, something about that just seems so finite that it scared the living crap out of me. And so, of course, you're going to self-sabotage and find a way to blow it up and everything. But, like, that made me nervous because why would the first person be so ideal? And of course he had his own things, like there was some insecurity things there and everything. And when it came to like how he viewed me when it came to other dudes, like there was a possessiveness there, not even a possessiveness, but like if I even talked about a guy in a way, like if I'd be like, oh, that dude on TV looks so good, not even thinking about it like consciously, but just like on some chill shit, like he would feel some type of way and would get very like insecure and stuff like that. Like I remember one time he was talking about his friend and I had gave the friend a compliment or something, and I think he made a comment like, oh well, you could be with him or whatever. Like it was just shit like that. Like, and I guess I understand, but I don't, because I'm the type of person where jealousy about another woman has never really been something I've possessed. And I don't know why, but I've never been the person to be jealous of you with another person. Now, what I do probably get jealous of is how you spend your time. Like, if you're not giving me a lot of time, but you're giving time to other people, but that's just people. I don't care if you get that shit to shit. Like, I don't even know. But, like, if you give your time to somebody else besides me, I get jealous of that. But a woman in general, like, I've never been jealous of that. Now, I do have my own insecurities, like when I kind of say like I don't think I'm my type's type shit, but like I'm not gonna be jealous that you choose her over me. I'm just gonna be on some like, dang, like why do the dudes that I won't go for something else and don't really choose me type. But that's it. And but if I was with somebody and I'm in a relationship with somebody and you happen to talk about somebody else or whatever, like I'm not gonna be on some, why are you talking about them? Like you say you want to be with them, like not me. Like I'm not that person and I will never be that person. So I could never understand that. So when that would come up in the relationship, it definitely would make me be like, what is going on? Like Like, why does that matter? Like, I'm here with you. I'm doing the things with you. I'm committed to you, but I don't know. And maybe, there was a part of me that I would say there was a part of me that dipped out of the situation too, because physically, I think physically everybody I've attracted has been all right, but if I could choose something else, I would. But I think that's a lot of people. Like, I don't think a lot of people really get to settle down with who they would physically, mentally, spiritually, and everything in one package will want to be with. And so, like, there was a part of me that definitely wanted somebody else physically, but like, I was still in it. I think I left out of there way more so because of just immaturity reasons, but before it was just off of physicality. But there was definitely a part of me that was like, okay, what if somebody that you're actually physically attracted to, like, comes your way and gives you the time and attention? Like, how will you handle that? Like, that was stuff I thought about that kind of encouraged the decision of not wanting to get back with him, because like, I think that it is important. Now, most people be like, oh, looks can fade. Looks gon' be here for a while. Like, what we not finna do is act like looks finna go somewhere soon. Like, I am 27. Looks finna be here soon. I mean, for a while. Why would I not care about that? Should it be the sole reasoning why you're with somebody? Hell no. But is it going to be up there along with the mental and the spiritual and all this other stuff? Definitely. I have to look at you daily. I have to want to be physical with you. I have to want to, like, come on now. If you're going to want to kiss all over me and touch all over me and all this other stuff, like, I got to want to do it with you too. And not to say that I wasn't, like, sexually attracted to him. It's just, if I had to take him and somebody that I would want to be with, I would choose somebody I want to be with physically. So, but it's just, like, unfortunate because, like, you'll have social media, of course. Social media will tell you, like, that stuff don't matter. Like, you'll miss out on a good thing and all this other stuff. And it's just like, not necessarily. I think it's up for us to choose the 20% that we're okay missing out on, and then pick the 80% that we care about. Sorry that the 80% that I care about is physical. Like, and not even the whole 80% is physical, but the physical is in some of that 80%. Sorry. Like, I don't know how to turn that off. Like, God gave us a type. And so, like, I don't think that, well, I don't know. Okay. No, God gave us a type. Like I said, I was 5 and I, like, was attracted to boys. God gave me a type. And so, like, I don't want to, and then I found that too, he could tell that, the physical wasn't all the way there. And so I end up dragging the situation along because I'm like, okay, that shouldn't be the reason why I don't stay in this. Like, and so you'll stay there, but then you don't even realize, like, how you're impacting the person in front of you, because they can feel it. They can feel that. For anybody that's out there with somebody that you're not physically attracted to, the person in front of you, they know. They can feel it. And at some point, that's going to make them, like, that's going to either make them overreact, underreact, or dip out at some point, because they can feel it. And so I would never encourage somebody to be in anything long term with anybody that they don't have complete physical attraction to, because again, these looks ain't fading for a while, and our genetics, we look good in our 70s. My grandma's in her 70s. She still looks good. So, like, we look good in our 70s. It's not going nowhere no time soon. So, I can't just be on some that does not matter because they fade. Like, no. But I definitely can't move off of that's the sole thing that I can't. Like, no. No fine person is going to be able to get through the door just off of fineness alone. You might can stick your toe in that bitch. Keep the door open a little bit. But you're not going to be able to walk on through just off of that alone. Like, that's not happening. So, you know, that relationship just in general was so pivotal into my relationship, because he was the standard and still is the standard. And I think the reason why I probably have progressively gotten worse is because I forgot that he was the standard. My mind has been so focused on the person that's not the standard that I keep attracting people that's like that. And like, I have forgotten that my first person was the standard. Like, we didn't do anything until I got commitment, or like very close to commitment. Because I think we might have crossed body parts before commitment, but like it was right there. So like, I might have lost my virginity and then like I was asked to be a girlfriend. Like, it was right there. But that was like a standard of mine. Like, hey, I'm not doing none of this stuff with you. Like, you can't get my virginity without you being committed to me. Like, that was actually a standard. Like, oh, we gotta go on dates. Like, we gotta go out. Like, we gotta do the things. Like, I gotta meet your family, you gotta meet my family. Like, and what's crazy is, little caveat, his mom didn't like me. That was insane. Like, literally told him to break up with me in front of his face and everything. She might have been on to something. She might have been on to something. He might have should have listened, but it's a learning experience. But what's crazier is, as time progressed and we were no longer together, she actually ended up liking me. Like, would ask about me and everything. Like, but I think she realized too, like, I wasn't really gonna go nowhere. Like, although we haven't been together since I was in high school, I wasn't going anywhere. And so she actually ended up liking me. But yeah, told that man to break up with me in front of me and everything. And that was the first time I was meeting him and his whole family. They were at like a picnic and everything. And she like pulled him to the side and told him to break up with me. Like, the fuck, the audacity of you. He didn't listen, which was great. It was great. But like, yeah. But all in all, I wouldn't change that experience for nothing. Like, and I think if I remember more of that relationship and really pull out the parts of that relationship that I love, I might start attracting that so much. I think what you fixate on will become your reality. And because I fixated on guy number 2 so long, all I do is attract motherfuckers that I ain't never gonna be in a relationship. I ain't never gonna be in a relationship with. Like, and I definitely have done myself a disservice not giving the light to my first relationship and really paying attention to what that was for me. And I think too, because I'm still learning to love myself and get back to the space where I was like unapologetically me. I think that's the reason why I don't focus on it, because guy number 2, I still am not completely myself with him. I've hidden so many parts of me, and it's funny because when we're talking, you'll think he know me, but really don't know not a nothing, and I don't know not a nothing about him either. But like, my first relationship, like, that man knew the ins and outs, knew how to poke a button, push a button. He literally, I became family, and like, I was legit able to be my complete self. Like, that was my friend, but like, outside of anything else. And I think I don't focus on that because of the person I was in that. I was literally myself in that situation, the good, bad, and the ugly. And so I never really focused on that situation. And so I do have to do a deep dive into the elements of that situation, because again, that was the standard. That is what should be the standard moving forward. Is like, we can't even do all this extra stuff without commitment. there has to be a commitment. Even if we don't stay together for the rest of our life, we at least got to be locked in enough to where we can see where it goes. And that's the standard. And I completely have forgotten about that. And I've laid that side of me to the wayside and been so focused on this dude that I will never get to do nothing. Because I'm like hiding away from the side of me that needs that. I need the commitment. I need the relation. I need to be myself with somebody because I don't get to do that often. Like, I'm working to show up as myself with, the people around me, but, sometimes that's not going to be the best for everybody. So it's just like, I definitely have hidden so much or not focused so much on the first relationship when that should be way more of a focus than it is. And it took me some time to figure that out, but like I said, ever ever since I've been like overeating and my stomach's been hurting, I just be like, dang, I just miss the times where I could just be treated like a little kid and could be taken care of and all this other stuff. And it just, yeah. So I'm gonna go back to that space and see what was in that, because I really haven't given it the light that is needed, and maybe that'll help me attract way better. Because like I said, he was the standard, like, and the fact that I've progressively gotten worse ever since him, it's just like I forgot like where I started. Like, I was up here when I started, when it came to like the caliber of man or boy, however you want to say it. Like, I was up like really high, and now shit, my shit to the ground. Like, it's to the ground, and it's insane. And not even to say that, again, like, he didn't have his flaws, but he definitely was the ideal boyfriend. Like, legit, when people say like your first relationship be like the relationship that should last, like, I don't know if they say that. Like, your first relationship is like that, the golden relationship, and then everything else is just you trying to figure out how to get back there. They probably don't say that, but low-key, they should. But like that first relationship, because it's so innocent and it's so young and so just y'all being y'all, like the good, the bad, the ugly, because like you don't have your prefrontal cortex telling you to do nothing. So for the most part, you're really just being yourself. So if you're impulsive, you get to be that way. If you're a sweet, kind-hearted person, you get to be that way. Like, I was like every part of me in that relationship, and he stayed there and really went through it. Just like, I mean, I went through every part of him, although, it annoyed me, the insecurities and the not being super romantic. Like, definitely would do anything that I asked, which I love too. But, not necessarily taking the time to really plan stuff out. Here and there he would, which would be cute. But, it's those little things that, I still stayed there and he still stayed there. And it was just like getting back to something like that. That is ideal. That is the goal. Like, that relationship definitely taught me a lot. Then the relationship that has challenged me, because that was my first love, y'all. So the relationship that has challenged me the most probably was like this last one. I ain't even gonna hold you. And that wasn't even a relationship. That was a situation, just a jigger. Like, and I think it challenged me the most because with the mindset that I have today versus the mindset I would have had when I was in my first relationship, like, I really genuinely be wanting to slow down and think about things before I do it. I don't really move off of complete impulse. Of course, some things you can't control, but for the most part, I was thinking before I did. I would say things in a way to try and, communicate them effectively and stuff like that. And it just didn't work. And then, like, you end up fighting for the shit to work, and it just would not work. And it's crazy because, like, he was kind of like literally the boy version of me, where like we had the same attachment style. Now, granted, these days I'm starting to think I'm disorganized. Like, depending on the person, you're either going to get avoidant déjeuner or anxious déjeuner. I think and I think maybe that's everybody when you think about it. Unless you're secure, because if you're secure, great. But like, for the insecure people, because I know when I attract avoidant people, I'm very anxious. But then when I attract anxious people, I am very avoidant. Like, very. So, yeah, maybe I'm a little disorganized depending on the person. Depending on the person. But like, I was doing my best, but he was like the female version of me. Like, he was like the anxious attachment person. Like, now he was very or overbearing. Insecure definitely was there. Insecurity was there. Not to say that my insecurity don't be there too, but shit, it was there. Like, I think it was literally a battle of like, and I don't know if I said this before, but who's the most broken? Like, who's the most brokenness? Like, our little kids were fighting to be heard. Nobody was listening to each other. Like, it was like so bad, and it challenged me a lot because I would literally try to have the conversation. I would try to work through the conflict, and it's like the harder you tried to work, the worse it got. Like, I was just talking to my friend, and I was like, "Yo, this last situation made me feel the craziest I've ever felt dealing with dudes. Like, it made me feel the craziest. Like, I wanted to be physical at some point, and not against him, because I don't put my hands on men because they can't chase back, and if you hit me, you're gonna die." But like, physical, and like, I was willing to break, stuff. I didn't, but I was willing. Like, police got involved. Like, it was just, it challenged me. And what's crazier is it was only a few months. Like, I don't even know what the hell has been going on with me. Like, I pull out the best and the worst of people so fast now. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse. Like, I pull out like the best and the worst of people so fast. And then maybe it helps to determine, okay, do I want to deal with this, or do I want to get the fuck ASAP? Like, am I okay staying in this, or can I not handle this? So like, it's good because you get to decide in a shorter length of time if you want to, put up with somebody's shit. But it's just like, yo, went through a whole, what would take years for some people to go through. Went through that in a couple months. Like, the shit be so overwhelming that you just be like, God damn it. Like, God damn it. Like, so like, that situation just, it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. It taught me that I have a hard boundary when it comes to physical, but y'all know that at this point. I done talk so much, you're gonna die. I have a hard boundary towards physical stuff. Like, don't put your hands on me. I don't know what it feels like to be hit by a man, and I will never want to know what it feels like to be hit by a man, because it would be the first and last time that man will touch anybody. So I don't want to know what it feels like to be hit by a man. And so that's a hard line, that at the moment you do that, yeah. Also, verbal abuse, like talking down on me, like, yeah, like, I don't like that either. And I'm not even gonna say it took for him for me to learn that, but he was the only person that has talked to me. Now, granted, there was one guy who tried to get a little crazy. He was like, I don't know if you can't read or something, he said, but I was like, fuck that. And I ain't talked to him no more after that message. Like, But like, I am not a fan of verbal abuse. Like, like I said, like, you're not gonna keep pouring negative words in me for me to have to combat and pour positive words into me. Like, that's a lot of work, a lot of extra work. I don't got time to be working against your words so that your words don't influence my behavior. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So, yeah, I got a hard boundary line on that. Like, yeah, like that just, and it's again, like, it was from April till October is the time in which we dealt with each other. The amount of shit that happened from April to October is insane. Like, shit just was moving. Shit was just happening. It could have been a movie. Really could have. Would have been, like, full of action packed, all types of shit. No, just kidding. But, like, it was so challenging. But I've learned that in conflict, I know how to handle it. If I don't have somebody who knows how to handle it too, we gonna go left though. We gonna go left, or I'm gonna go right. Like, so, like, like, so, but I did learn that I'm getting better with, not talking to people like I'm crazy fresh out the gate. Like, I actually presented my feelings to somebody, let them know when you made me feel some type of way without being mad, disrespectful, and everything. Like, those were things that I needed to work on because I was told that I didn't do the best in the past. So, like, I learned that I was doing better. But I also learned in that situation where when I get triggered, it's very rare that you're going to stop the car from speeding. Like, once you get me to 100, the car not going to stop speeding. So please ease up off the gas before you get to 100 because I will literally go there. So I learned that too. It's like, if I ask, can we kill this because I feel like I'm finna get to 100, like, give me the space, because most people not gonna ask for that. Most people are either gonna shut the fuck down and leave out and did, like, abandon you in the moment, or they're gonna go there with you. So if I ask for that and you can't grant that, that is problematic. And so I know how to ask for that. Like, I know how to communicate, yo, I'm finna go left. Let me leave. Like, can we do this another time? Grant me that. And if we have to come up with a time together or a date together so that we can talk about it, that's fine with me. Just let me out of this. Let me off of the gas pedal before I run us off the road. So, like, that was, like, really challenging for me. And it was just challenging. Like, a lot of things came up. And not even just that situation, but what I am learning is, like, the more I deal with people, or for, like, the longer I deal with people, like, little things that harmed me or made me feel some type of way is slowly being revealed. And I think that's the beauty of relationships, is that you really get to uncover the wounds so that you can finally treat them and tend to them and, give them the proper care that they need so they can heal properly. Because most of our wounds we have just covered up and, put to the side and haven't really tended to them. So then when somebody bumps up against it, you don't even know where it's at. And so all you know is the shit hurts. And so now you react because you're just like, like, why did you just hit my wound? But you can't, figure out where it's at, what they bumped up against, and all this other stuff. So that's the one thing that I do learn about relationships, whether it's actual committed relationships or situationships, is that they slowly reveal something new to you, like, every day. Like, and I've learned a lot about myself and what still harms me and what makes me feel some type of way and everything. Like, of course, the abandonment thing is always going to be prevalent. That's nothing new. But, like, the way in which it shows up when I feel like I'm about to be abandoned and all this other stuff. Like, I used to wholeheartedly believe that I was an anxious attachment like 2-3 years ago. But now I genuinely think that it depends on the person and what they're feeding me for me to receive which will determine if I show up of not even avoidant, but like not really wanting to. I actually, y'all, I think I'm kind of getting to the secure. No, I don't know until I get into a relationship, but I think different people are gonna pull out different parts of you, and that you're not going to know if you're anxious or avoidant until that person comes into your space and reveal what they are. That's going to trigger your body to respond in different ways, because as I interact with people more and listen to other people's stories, I find that we're in a spectrum, and we react to different people in different ways. Some people, you probably don't give a fuck if they leave out your life or not. And some people, you'll probably fight tooth and nail to keep on keeping your space. So it's like, I don't even want to, prescribe myself with disorganized. I don't want to prescribe myself to anxious. I will say that whatever person is in front of me, that will dictate how I react to them. And that's like the biggest thing that I've learned or paid attention to in general, is like the person in front of me is going to dictate how I interact with them. So if you come in on some consistent, some loving, some honest, truthful type shit, like, why would I have to show up anxious or avoidant? Like, no, I'm going to show up and match that. But if you come in and you're super shut down, then I'm going to be like, okay, what the fuck? And then I'm going to be trying to pull it from out of you. Now you're avoidant and I'm anxious. Or you show up and you do too much. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. And so now I seem avoidant because I don't really want to do all this stuff, and you seem really anxious. So it's just like different people are going to evoke different things from out of you. And so, yeah. And then the love that taught me self-love was guy number 2. Like, and that's why I think I focused so much on that, because like that situation allowed me to hide myself. I don't think that man gets to say that he truly knows me. I don't think he'll ever get to say he truly knows me at all. And there was beauty in that, because I didn't have to be real, open, and honest. I didn't have to be vulnerable. I didn't have to possibly get rejected. Like, I could just show up and be whatever he needed me to be, and went with that. Granted, I still was rejected, but like, I didn't have to reveal all of me, and I still got rejected. Like, and so it's just like, I think I festered so much on that relationship because so much of me was hidden, that I appreciated that, because I've been hiding myself since I was younger, which is insane because I used to want to be the center of attention. And so it's just weird, because he would tell me that too, that, he came into my life to teach me that I need to focus on myself. And that was some real shit. And ever since him, like, he jump started me wanting to learn about myself and figuring out what was going on with me and learning about the different things and everything like that. Like, he really jump started my journey to self-discovery. Without that situation, I ain't gonna say would have never. At some point, I probably would have got there, but like, a lot of this stuff I wouldn't know without going through that situation. I was so running after this person, forgetting about me in the process, that I was okay with it. I was okay doing that. And like, now I'm not okay in the slightest to hide myself from anybody. I'm slowly revealing. Like, I'm not gonna jump out the window and be like, hey, I'm Dejanay. But I'm like slowly revealing myself little by little, to build the confidence again that, I'm Dejanay. Like, and that means something. So that was definitely the situation that taught me self-love. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because he's already gotten so many episodes that it's not even funny. But, you know, that situation definitely helped me to realize that I can genuinely be myself and be okay, and that my focus or like me shouldn't be in enveloped around a guy, because that's not necessary in order to keep the guy there, because if anything is gonna make the guy run away. So it's just like I learned a lot when it came to loving on myself in that situation. And then, yeah, so some different things that I would encourage you all to do is to reflect on past relationships. So some different ways that you could do that, because we got to be able to look at the old patterns and the old things that we previously went through and see how they're still showing up today, so that we can be intentional about changing them. But some questions to think about is, what have my past revealed about me? A lot. Like, I've learned a lot about me. I learned that I am literally everything and nothing all at the same time. I'm just kidding. I don't know why that came to mind, but I've learned that, like, I like the masculine and feminine. I like to be nurturing and loving and caring, but I also like to be competitive and do things and get stuff done. And, that is my things. And I learned that with everybody. Like, I like direction, and sometimes I like to go with the flow. Like, I like to plan, and sometimes I like spontaneity. Like, there's so much that I've revealed about myself from past relationships. So, what have your past relationships revealed about you? And then something else you can ask yourself is, do I see any recurring patterns in my love life? I just said that. Like, you gotta know what keeps going wrong in order to do something different so it can go right. Like, maybe where are you finding these people that keep playing with shit? Because I noticed that where I be like attracting these people from just don't even be, it don't be of substance, of quality, or anything like that. Like, guy number one was online. Not to say online's bad, because a lot of people find people online, but guy number one was from online. Guy number two, we were leaving a club and he pulled up. Guy number three, what was guy number three? He might have been from an app. Guy number four was from an app. Guy number five was at Panera. And guy number six, am I counting these people right? Oh, let me see. App. Guy number three was app. Guy number four was app. Guy number five was Panera. Guy number six was Last Situation. And I met him at Walmart. Like, what is these places? Not even to say they're bad, and you can find the love of your life anywhere. But, when I think about my husband, I don't be thinking that I'm finna find him on no app at no Walmart. I don't even be at Walmart on the daily. I only happen to be at Walmart because I was doing the delivery thing for Walmart. But I don't even shop there. So, like, I wouldn't think that I would find my man at Walmart. Panera, I don't even eat there for real. Like, I went there to meet my friend so that we could go over my applications for graduate school, or like the statement of purpose or something like that. Like, I don't even really be eating there. Now, granted, are they the upper class of fast food? Yeah, but not a fast food worker. Even if you're upper class. And then I also be having to think about age. Like, these people were older in age. Now, when I was younger, if I would have came across somebody working at Panera, that would have been all right. But the fact that you're like damn near 30, still working at a fast food joint, like, I really don't be putting two to two together. So, like, it's just like, what are these patterns? These patterns of how you're finding people or what you're doing in order to get with the people. Like, what are they paying attention to when they see you? Like, and it sucks for women because, like, we're so sexualized. So, of course, that's, like, majority of the reason why they're looking at you in the first place is off of your body alone. But it's just, like, how are you presenting yourself? Now, I ain't never been the one to put all my goods on front street. But, you know, the thing be thangin' depending on the outfit. So it's like, you know, what are the different patterns that come up when you are attracting these guys and everything? And then, like, you know, going off of that and seeing if you could do something different. See if when you do something different, if a different type of person comes into your space. Because if you're doing the same things and you keep getting the same people, that might be why. But if you start changing and doing something different, then you can start attracting something different, and now you can get married, and if you want to, or long-term relationship, whatever y'all crazy kids like to do. I want a ring on my finger, but if you just want to be somebody's girlfriend for the rest of your life, go for it. But I would like to be somebody's wife. So, you know, being intentional about the patterns, not being intentional about the pattern, being intentional about changing the patterns so that you can get different results. And then another question can be, how have I changed because of love? I low-key think I'm shutting the fuck down. And I think that might be why it's progressively getting worse. Because I think I'm progressively shutting down more and more. Like, I'm really... And not that I would ever think that I'm never going to find nobody. But there are times when I'd be like, I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen. Like, the shit that I keep coming across don't make me think it's going to happen no time soon. So I just be like, at this point, I just don't know when it's going to happen. And then I'd be inside, which pushes back time and everything too. So not that I'm like nihilistic or, you know, very pessimistic or anything like that. It's just like, what they say, if it keep going wrong, you're the common denominator. And I just be trying to figure out, okay, what about me keeps pulling in the shit? So like, I just I just am slowly just shutting down altogether when it comes to relationships and everything, especially because it's all around me. So there's so many people from my high school that's like married, having children. People from my middle school that I was like really close with, married, getting married, engaged, like, and so it's all around me. Not in my inner circle, I'll say, though, because it's not in my inner circle. So like my family, I don't see them getting married, and like my friends. Now, one of my friends, she's in a committed relationship, and she said that it's going really well. Although she wants to run every day, she won't. So like, that's good. My other friend, she's back in the dating arena after, you know, having her child. So that's cool. So it's just like, it's around me, relationship. It's just like, I don't know when it's gonna happen for me. And at this point, the shit, again, that I be attracting, I just be like, the fuck? Like, just be like, the fuck? So, like, that's how I've changed because of this thing called, well, in search of sharing love with somebody else. Because I'm not going to say in search of love, but in search of sharing love with somebody else. Like, I'm slowly but surely shutting down, which is why it possibly keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse. But I'm doing my best to remain positive, and I say all the time that my husband's coming, and I'm just getting prepared for him and all those good things. But yeah, one day. One day. And then like it says like to build self-awareness and love, which is like understanding your attachment style, which I don't think you should prescribe anything to yourself, because we are not the things that we do. We are not what we do. Like, we are humans, but just because you may be anxious with one person does not mean that you're an anxiously attached person. Or just because you might be avoiding with this person doesn't mean that that's who you are. Unless, like, that is your pattern, then you could be like, okay, I have the tendency to be anxious. But don't prescribe that stuff to yourself. I think when you take on an identity and you take that into account and you place it on yourself, then it kind of makes it harder to overcome it. When if you like, okay, I have the tendency to avoid, I have the tendency to be anxious, like how can I be vigilant about, making sure that those don't dictate how I navigate this situation? That's what's gonna help you way more than just being like, I'm an anxiously attached person. Like, hindsight, if I could go back to my my insecure attachments episodes, I wouldn't say that I'm anxiously attached. But can't change that. And that's growth for you. But I'm not anxiously attached. I have the tendency to anxiously attach when somebody comes into my space that has the tendency to avoid. But that's not me. And I don't want to take that onto myself because I want to remain aware that that's a possibility and to be vigilant on communicating stuff and, making sure that my needs and everything are met. But definitely understand that you may have those different characteristics or those different traits so that you can combat them when they feel like they're being inflamed. And then definitely notice emotional triggers and how to manage them in relationships. So my stuff is when I feel like you don't hear or see me, I'm not a fan of that. I feel like I've been ignored and not seen for so long that when I feel that way, that little kid comes up ready to scream at everybody. So, like, I'm not a fan of that. I don't want to feel like I'm about to be abandoned because that little kid go come up and be on some where you going type shit. Or gonna be like, okay, I'm used to this, and will shut all the way down and no longer wants to connect. I don't want to feel disrespected in a sense of like the verbal stuff that I was talking about earlier. Like the moment you go to calling me out of, not even, you ain't even gotta cuss me out my name, but the moment you start insulting me type stuff, like, yeah, no, that's not gonna be okay. But like, I'm sure there's some other emotional triggers, but those are just some to name a few that I have learned that I have that will immediately make me do different things. Don't know what you're gonna get depending on the day, but those are the things that are gonna make me being dismissed. So I guess not being heard. Like, I don't like dismissal. I don't like, being ignored. Again, not seen and heard. Like, I hate to feel not seen and heard and to be abandoned or feel like I'm being abandoned and all that other stuff. Like, those are my main ones. If you don't inflict that upon me, you gonna get the best déjeuner that you've ever gotten in your motherfucking life. But yeah, like, definitely notice your emotional triggers and how to manage them. And then ways to practice healthy love is learning to love without losing yourself. Definitely stay true to yourself. But in the midst of staying true to yourself, you do got to know when your boundaries are out of fear versus out of love. Like, I think a lot of people these days come up with boundaries out of fear. Like, low-key, some of my boundaries probably are out of fear too. And I don't even uphold some of my boundaries, which but like, making sure that your boundaries are in place so that you can show up and continue to be your loving self and not because you're fearful that shit's gonna go left if that happens or something like that. Like, that has to be essential, that you're not creating things out of fear. So definitely show up in every situation as you without losing yourself. Because the moment you lose yourself, it's kind of hard to get that back. Because once you get into that habit of not showing up, not being seen, not being heard, especially if you're anything like me, and you're okay with that, like that's your norm, like it's gonna be hard to get back to a space where you're seen and heard and all this other stuff. So definitely maintain a voice throughout your relationships. And then prioritizing self-love and personal goals while being in a relationship. I haven't tried that yet. Can't wait to practice. Can't wait to practice, babe. Wherever you are, just know that I'm going to be focused on me too. And you. But me too. And then recognizing whether a relationship is helping or hindering your growth, which we already talked about that, and the good pain versus bad pain. Like, you gotta know when somebody's empowering you, uplifting you. And I think it is probably gonna feel tremendously different than the people that hinder you. Like, I can't wait to get to a space where I have somebody that is uplifting me and empowering me, as well as loving on me and catering to me and all this other stuff. Because granted, got to, although like we weren't able to connect on some real personal and everything, the one thing he never did was made me feel like I was hindered. If anything, I hindered my own self. But he always made me focus on school, focus on doing the things that I said I wanted to do and everything. And could be because during that time, he was doing that too. Like, he was writing his poetry so he could put out books and everything, like, you know, traveling for work and everything. Like, he really had his head down and was doing that. So he definitely encouraged me to do that. And so that's one aspect of him that I definitely am going to carry with me moving forward, is that whomever I come across has to have that too. Because it's not gonna help if you're making your dreams, goals, and everything come to pass or come to fruition or manifest, and I have the same thing, but because I'm so wrapped up in you, I'm not doing that. Like, no, I gotta have a support system too, so that those things can manifest, and so that is essential. That is a necessity, and my husband is to have someone that not only goes after his dreams and his goals, but supports me and encouraged me to do the exact same thing. Because that's the only way that we're going to maintain fulfilledness and have a loving relationship, is because we're both making sure we get the things that feed our souls and then coming back together to love on each other. So definitely that. And then some final takeaways I have here is that every relationship, whether good or bad, teaches us something about ourselves. So majority of my relationships were bad. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like, they were kind of pointless, but they also showed me where I was at in the space. Like, of course, if I'm constantly attracting people that don't want a relationship, obviously there's something about me that's not ready to commit either. And so I learned that, you know, if I be saying, one of the ladies I came across because of Hardly Initiated, if you watch them, great. If you don't, go check them out. But her name's like Tara Bodie or Body or something like that. She be saying like the Jezebel spirit is like be on people, and like I low-key be laughing but dead ass, but like low-key I think some of the people that came into my space just for sex was actually something that I probably yearned for in the moment, just to be physically touched. Like, the Jezebel spirit probably was on me, and that's probably why I didn't go no further. Like, it's because maybe that's all I genuinely wanted, like, for the time being. Of course, I'm still a lover girl, so if I can make a relationship work or make a relationship happen, I'm gonna want to do that. But I think some of these people I came about, I just wanted to touch on them, and I wanted them to touch on me, and we was okay touching on each other. I think what sucks is that it wasn't like consistent or long term touching on each other, but hey, it is what it is. And then another takeaway is love should be a space for growth, not just validation or comfort. Facts. Like, I honestly don't want nobody that's not willing to grow. And I think that's something that a lot of women want. But I feel like some people make it seem like women want somebody who has to make six figures, who has to do this, who has to do that. Like, no, I just want to see growth. Now, granted, am I talking about all the women? No. But, like, I think a lot of women just want to see growth and change and evolution and everything, because that's literally what we be doing. Like, not every woman, but, like, that's what majority of us be doing. Whether it's the woman that, was 100 pounds heavier a few years ago, now she's 100 pounds lighter, and she's, like, getting healthier, eating better, doing the things. She's not going to want somebody who's not on that same wavelength. Like, if I can do it, I know you can do it too. And so why would I want somebody who doesn't match my energy when it comes to growth? Not even to say, like, you have to get 6 figures. You have to be ambitious to the utmost degree. You have to become a millionaire. Like, no, like, you just have to not want to be the same person 2 years from now. Like, what are we doing? Like, do you absolutely want to be the exact same motherfucker till you die? Like, no. And if you do, there's somebody for you. I'm not going to judge you, because there's probably somebody that wants to be the exact same person until they die too. But, like, don't try and match up with somebody who don't want to be the same person for the rest of their life, then get upset when they want you to change. Like, no, that's just not the person for you. Or, if somebody doesn't want to change, don't try to get with them. And then when they don't want to change, you mad. Like, no. Go find people who value growth and evolution, because you value growth and evolution. Like, legit. That's my thing. I need somebody who values growth and evolution. Even if you move like a turtle, because I'm moving like a turtle, I still need to see that you're moving and not just staying still. And then, like, lastly, to end off the episode, is I challenge you all to take a moment to reflect on a past relationship. What was the biggest lesson you took from it? Let me know in the comments if you happen to see this on YouTube. But if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the streaming things, go to YouTube and leave me a comment. Like, what did you learn? What was your biggest takeaway from one of your relationships from the past? Like, I got a lot of takeaways, and I'm pretty sure I done talked about a couple of them. But, like, what was yours? Share it with us, because we want to know. Talk your shit about your shit, because that's the right thing to do. But, like, y'all, that's where I'm going to end it off. My relationships have been, like, the death of me, and they honestly give me the most stress. The most stress, which is crazy. I don't be stressed about nothing else except for my love life. And granted, maybe I'm not stressed enough, which is why I'm not changing it. And maybe I'm like, that we'll save that for another day. We'll save that for another day. But yes, y'all, I definitely appreciated going through the stuff, because who knew that all this was there. I will tune in with y'all next week to continue the conversation on personal growth. But yeah, that's it. Leave a comment. Please like, subscribe, check me out on all streaming platforms. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, TikTok for as long as we can. Talk your shit. You better go tune in. But, I mean, if you watch here or listen, then you're really just getting the same stuff, just shorter versions. So, tune in, y'all. Can't wait to chat with y'all next Wednesday at 7. This is Talk Your Shit with Asia, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Bye.